Polly, and I will be the teacher for this hour, or one of them. I will be concentrating more on comprehension of a reading and vocabulary and speaking um, in this class. It is mostly this lesson is for intermediate students, and the topic is on bad debt. It's a specific, it's a business English topic, but you can actually talk about your personal life along with it. Let me show you quickly the lesson. What we will be doing is talking about bad debt. Hello, Lena. How are you today? Elena?
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
Fine. Fine. But I can't hear you well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
maybe. Yeah, no,
Is
no,
that
it's
better?
fine. Yeah,
Okay.
fine.
I had muted my microphone right here and didn't
Okay.
realize I had. So
Okay, fine.
so earlier I was speaking to everyone and nobody saw it. Nobody could hear me well. So so how are you? You said
Uh,
fine.
yeah, great. This is the early morning
Uh-huh.
in Russia,
Mhm.
and I would like to study before my working day.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And it's a beautiful picture of you, by the way. Is that you?
Yeah,
I
me.
love that dress. It's really cute.
Yeah,
So where are
thank
you?
you.
Where is that at?
It was a river trip.
Uh-huh.
It was just a week ago. It
Oh,
was
okay.
yeah, it was a river trip with my coworkers.
Uh-huh.
It was
Awesome.
we congratulated 10 years
Uh-huh.
after the 10 years our work.
Yeah, so it's like a 10-year anniversary. Is
Yeah.
are companies and companies in Finland similar to companies in I mean companies in Russia similar to companies in Finland? What they do every fall they have a kickoff for the year, kind of like a kickoff or the beginning of the year, and then in the springtime they usually have parties, and then also
Um,
around Christmas. Uh, is that like that in Russia, or is that just Finland?
um, I can't say that it's regular,
Uh-huh.
but if we have if we have an opportunity and we have something which we could celebrate,
Uh-huh.
we celebrate.
Okay.
Uh, at this moment, um, we started we started on the new road
Mm-hmm.
uh, because our director decided to to have the different to have a different objectives with in our for our future.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And we started to our international career,
Uh-huh.
and that's why we decided to celebrate this 10 years and
Awesome.
for starting the new, the new epoch
Uh-huh.
for our business.
Okay. Now remind me, you are an architect, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I remembered. Yes, 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 yes.
Yeah. Yeah, but
I
I don't work like an architect.
uh-huh.
um, I work like a project manager.
Uh-huh.
It's the same, but
Uh-huh.
normally I don't draw.
Uh-huh.
I
So
just I just manage.
yeah, so you manage people who do. So you know the field and you have somebody else that's actually doing it. So,
Yeah, yeah.
right.
I like it better
Uh-huh.
um, because sometimes drawings could be really boring,
Mm-hmm.
and sometimes you should stay in front of computer during the whole day. in the dead silence, and sometimes for me it's absolutely terrible, and I can't stand that. And that's why I decided to change a little I'm in my profession, but I change a profile of that.
Okay. Yeah. Well, neat. So what time is it right now in Moscow?
It's 10 a.m.
Okay. And when do you go to work?
In the center of Moscow.
Okay. When do you go?
When? At 9.
Okay. So you're at work right now?
Yeah, I will just study, and I'm prepared, but I just should put my dress, and that's all, and I can go out.
Oh, okay. Got it. I got it. Okay. So you're not at work now, but you're going in a little late.
Yes. I have a free hour, and I can spend it with you.
Okay, I see. That makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean, some people actually will do study. I don't know if people study verbally from work, but there are some people that go in and they have like their private lessons and things from their office and stuff. But I don't know about the group classes, whether people are doing that. So.
Yeah, for me that will be great, but it's difficult, you know. During my working day, I have an opportunity to study English. For example, right now, just yesterday, I prepared a glossary for construction works and interior design.
Okay.
Because we have a directive from our an order from our boss that we should study English a lot and as we can, because we have a new project in some Arabian country, and that's why we should be prepared for this international experience, and. But that's great. But you know, there is no any opportunity to do some lessons online, because you are in the space where there are many other managers, and you can't normally. But you can do some research. You can plan something. Sometimes I read something that makes sense.
Yeah, and I just okay.
Oh, we have a new student.
Yeah, somebody else. No, I was just typing in and said you said there were no opportunities, and I just thought there. You could also say there are few opportunities, and then I typed it in wrong. So there are few opportunities to do online training. So, and I typed in too. So hello, Hamid. How are you today?
Hello, teacher. How are you? I'm fine. I'm doing
Very
well.
good.
Thank you.
Very good. So where are you calling from?
I'm from Egypt.
Egypt. Okay, awesome. What? Can you explain your picture? What is this all about?
Actually, it's a paint for Joseph Albert. It's called Homage to the Square.
Oh, okay.
Uh-huh.
All right.
I
So are
found
you?
it.
I was gonna say, are you into art or?
I'm not. I'm just found a blog and found it to talking about paint and something like that. So I found it and I like it actually. So
Yeah, I do too. It's very very unique. Do people ask about it very often?
Yeah, all the time actually.
All the time, yeah. I find that asking people about their pictures is a great way for small talk and stuff like that, and you get to know people. Like you know, and find out a little bit about, you know, Alina and I just had a really great conversation about her job just because I asked her about her dress. So moved on over there. So I'm going to show you my picture too. This picture is of me and my little dog, and he is a Hungarian sheepdog, and he was actually born in.
But maybe he is a big, not a little.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he's I think he's 16 and a half inches. He's actually small for his breed, and he's about he should be about 26 pounds, but he's a little over. But yeah, but he was born in Hungary, and then I got him while I lived in Finland, and now he lives in the U.S. and he's 11 years old now, so he's starting to become an old dog. But in this picture, he was about 4 or 5. So, but all right. Well, today's topic, we're going to talk about bad debt, and do you guys know what bad debt is? Any idea what that would be?
No, I have no idea.
No idea? Hamid, do you have any idea?
Something bad, but what is debt?
Something like when you borrow money or something like that.
Yeah, it's basically debt means basically when you owe money. So basically, if you owe money, you are in debt. So we would say in debt. Now, there's a pronunciation rule that applies to this word and another word, receipt. Okay, this is start with me a moment. Receipt, a C. Okay, the pronunciation rule really is if there is a B or a T before, excuse me, a B or a P, P before a T, it is silent. So we actually do not pronounce the B here, and we don't pronounce the P in receipt. So we say receipt.
What about when L is after between T? Maybe it's the same.
Can you think of a word for me?
Exactly, or exactly. How can I pronounce it?
Okay, let's see. Let me write it down. Exactly. I'm having trouble with my writing. Bear with me a moment.
You can write it.
A-C-T-L-Y. Exactly. So this one, well, I want to write it kind of not great phonetics, but in this one it's exactly. So you would actually pronounce all the sounds in this word, but of course you pronounce it quickly.
Actually, exactly. For me, actually, it's easy to me to not pronounce T. Actually, I pronounce it maybe quickly, you know. I don't know if is that right or not.
Maybe the only sound that you could get away with not actually using is the T, exactly. So some people will say exactly, and some people will not. So that would be the word you could emit from that. So good question. So let's go ahead and go through this. We've got these some vocabulary activities. So bad debt actually means owing money. So question for you guys. First of all, what is bad debt? We know that that's owing money, and many times for a company, it means they might not get paid. So when a client does not pay, the company has to write it off. Has to write the debt off. off in the books as non-payment. Excuse me. I apologize about that.
It's okay.
So does your business or does your company that you work for sometimes suffer from bad debt? Elena, do you know about your company?
Yes, unfortunately, that could happen. Yeah, because we have some parties. Yeah, normally we divide our contract payment into some parts. Yeah, and when it could be like that when we have finished the project, and there is only just the last payment. The client could say, okay, we'll give you when you will provide some ads or something like that, and sometimes it could be during the long time we are waiting for our money, and the project has been absolutely finished. But we are still waiting some money from our clients. That could be.
Yeah, and in some respects you end up waiting and you never get the money, and other times you get the money eventually. So,
yeah,
right. And I know that in the States they'll have what is called a 30-day, 60-day, and 90-day column on their books. And if it's past 90 days, then it becomes a big problem. So, Hamid, do you know about your country in Egypt? Are there companies that do not pay?
Actually, I don't know, but because I'm just studying nowadays, so
okay.
But maybe it's happened. Maybe I don't know. Actually.
Now, are there individuals that do not pay? Just a regular. What we say is we've got, of course, a company that purchases from another company, but there's also consumers. Consumers are people like if you go to a restaurant, you are a consumer. Okay, you're consuming something. But are there people or consumers in Egypt or in Russia that just do not pay their debts? Maybe they don't pay their phone bill or they don't pay their electricity.
Yes.
Yeah, but the system in Russia is strict to consumers who do not pay some money to the government or do not pay to the for his defenses. No, I can't say that. I can say
for their debts. They're strict towards consumers who do not pay their debts.
Yeah.
But they are not strict towards companies, right?
Yeah, the company is something. There is some differences because we work with we work in luxury area, yeah, and sometimes the client thinks that maybe he already has paid a lot to us, and even if it's written in our contract, he could find some different reasons why they wouldn't pay, and he doesn't want to pay. But sure, we can we can go to the we can judge it. Oh no, we can.
Yeah. You can go to you can go to the courts, and you can maybe.
Yeah, absolutely right. We can go to the courts. Yeah, but normally we don't want to spoil our relations with our client because of money.
Yeah.
Because it's important in this luxury area to have a good relationships afterwards. After all works have been finished, we want to have normal relationship because we can cooperate together and so on. He can recommend us to his friends and so on. So normally we don't want to spoil our relationship
because of word of mouth, and also another thing, Hamid, this is something, maybe it's probably the same in Egypt. The bigger the company, it's the bigger, what they say, the more clout they have. Does anybody know what the word clout means? Okay, do you know that word clout?
No, I don't. Actually.
Oh, good. You guys, a new word for you! Yay! And so the more, basically, it's the more power. So if you have a big company, like you have a small or mid-sized company, and they get a contract from a really large company or even the government, the company usually does not pay very quickly because they know they don't have to. Because just like what Alina just described, they don't want to cause any problems because they could get more work in the future. Right? Alina?
Yes, that's absolutely right. What I wanted to have.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was running a hotel, and it was a corporate hotel where a lot of the men would come in and say, bill this to my company. And so he would bill, and he showed me the column one day, and he said it was a 30, 60, 90-day column. And he showed me, he said, look at this, Holly. And it was the United States government and all the really big companies that had not paid after 90 days. But it was the small companies that had paid. So it was like we were kind of amazed, but then it's because the big companies have clout. So anyway, let's go ahead and go through these words. And these are business English words, but not all of them are. So first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to read through numbers 1 through 7 and then A through G and go over pronunciation. And then we'll see if we can match the underlined words with the definition down here. So, Hamid, could you read number 1?
Okay. Our debtors owe us a lot of money.
Perfect.
Okay, number 2. Is it Elena or Elena?
As you want. As for me, it's the same.
Okay.
He was able to get the loan because he owns a lot of personal assets.
Okay, perfect. Hamid, the next one.
Okay. During the economic downturn, many businesses were unable to survive. Yeah.
Perfect. Okay. Elena.
If Joy is unable to pay his debts.
Remember, no B.
Yeah, debts. He will go bust.
Perfect. Okay. Hamid.
Because of the boycott from consumer, the company's sales went down.
Perfect. Okay.
Sometimes big company bully smaller company. Bully. Bully smaller companies to get ones they want because they narrow smaller companies are weaker.
And big companies have clout.
Okay. Yeah.
And Hamid.
Okay. Big firms usually have plenty of cash reserves, so they usually don't have a problem paying bills.
Okay, they don't have problems paying bills. Okay, so A through G, we've got a person or company who owes money, a reduction in the success of a business or economy, a supply of something that is not needed for immediate use but available if required, go bankrupt, property owned by a person, refusing to buy from a company or country as a way of protesting, and G, use their strength to influence other people. Okay. So first of all, are there any words or phrases that we just read that you guys do not know?
Boycott.
Okay, boycott. Boycott
Boycott.
means, bear with me a moment, I need to cough real quick. This is the end of a cold, so I got a cold last week, and boycott means to stop using a product or supporting a company in order to get them to change what they are doing. So, for example, maybe consumers will learn that a company is using maybe child labor.
Like if you deal with a supermarket and something happened, you didn't deal with him again, something like that.
Yeah, basically, but it's on a more official scale. So, for example, okay, you hear that a company, maybe a milk product, is doing something that they're having children in a company in the countryside milk the cows, okay, or something like that, and you're saying, wait, that's wrong. The children should be in school. So you decide to post on the internet and say, don't use this product because of this.
Or when some crisis between two countries, you boycott
absolutely.
Or,
absolutely.
Import trades from him or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that is on even a larger scale. That's actually sanctions. That's called sanctions. Oh, I spelled it wrong. Sanctions. Okay. So if for example, there's several countries that other countries will not do business with, and they have given sanctions. But yeah, it's kind of like boycotting. Or another example is the Olympics. If you remember, or if you've heard of the 1980 Olympics, no, not 1980, 1984, no, 1980 Olympics, the United States boycotted the Olympics. So they did not go to the Olympics because of the political situation. And then in 1984, the Soviet Union and other Soviet countries also boycotted the Olympics. Okay. So they refused to go. So hi Ake, welcome back, and hello Obed, how are you?
Yes, hello, thank you.
Fine, teacher. How are you?
Very good, thank you. Today we're talking. This is going over business and English vocabulary, and this is on bad debt is the topic. So. And we're just talking about the word boycott. Okay. Are there any other words or phrases that you guys might not know from what we've read? So Okay, so for number one, our debtors owe us a lot of money. Can anybody figure out what we've already read through this, guys, but have anybody figured out what these are, which one it is? What is the definition?
I believe it's A.
Yes, so our debtors, A, so basically a person or company who owes us money. So our debtors owe us a lot of money. So debtors mean this, okay? B, he was able to get the loan because he owns a lot of personal assets. Anybody know what this would be? Personal assets. Any idea?
Maybe
Property owned by a person.
Yes. Yeah, so assets are what you own. For example, the very first time that I was 19 or 20 years old, and I did taxes, and it turns out that I owed, which was very surprising. So I owed money to the United States government. I think it was like $300 or something like that, and I didn't pay it. And about 6 months later, I got a letter from the U.S. government telling me that they had because I had not made payment arrangements, because I was just really young and I didn't know I could, that they had basically put a hold on all my assets. Well, I was 19 years old, and the only asset I had was a bicycle. So, but that's an example. So, okay, next one. During the economic downturn, many businesses were unable to survive. So, what is economic downturn?
Economic crisis or something, or go bankrupt.
No, it doesn't go bankrupt, but it is something.
B, a reduction in the success of a business or
economy. Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now we're expecting a huge economic downturn in the U.S. I don't know if you guys have heard that. So, and I've heard that, you know, economically, when the U.S. has a cold, the rest of you guys have the flu. So hopefully that does not happen this time. But anyway, number 4, if Joe is unable to pay his debts, he will go bust. What does that mean?
Go bankrupt.
Go bankrupt.
Okay, now this is kind of interesting here, because I know culturally it isn't the same in every country. In my country, a person can go bankrupt. An individual can go bankrupt. But in Finland, where I lived for many years, only companies can go bankrupt, but an individual cannot. How about in your countries? Can a person go bankrupt?
Yes.
I don't think so. Maybe it's just for companies or factories, something like that. But for personal, I didn't think so.
Okay, and okay. So
yes,
Egypt is like Finland.
Yes, in Japan, personal go bankrupt.
Okay.
So in that, if the person go bankrupt, they have the limit on their some right. But however, they can how can I say? They don't have to return their debt. But if the personal debt is not impossible, how can they solve the problem in Finland or?
In Finland and Egypt, what I was told in Finland, they just end up having to pay payments. So, but yeah, they end up paying payments, but they cannot, even though they have a huge debt, they cannot go bankrupt.
So they have to pay.
Yeah, they still have to pay. They might be able to wait, and they might be able to put the payment on hold. How about in Egypt? If somebody cannot pay their bills, what happens?
Maybe you go to jail or something like that.
Oh, okay. In English, we actually would call that a debtor's prison.
Debtor.
Yeah, I mean, we haven't had it in a long time, but it's called debtor's prison. How about in Russia, Elena? Is it like Egypt or is it like Japan?
I believe that juridically a person could not be a bankrupt.
Uh-huh.
He could be a debtors, yeah, a debtor, but not be bankrupt, because as I understand the meaning of the word bankrupt, if you are bankrupt, if you are in a company, if you are bankrupt, you can you have an opportunity to not to pay all the money that you have lost. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you are a person, you should pay your money in any case, and that's why I believe that in Russia, personally, it's impossible to be a bankrupt. It's just for companies.
Yeah, and in the U.S. and Japan and most likely in the UK and other countries, it's actually possible for a person to go bankrupt. In fact, they made a law about 10 or 15 years ago that if somebody has a student loan, if they have a student loan and they go bankrupt, they still owe the student loan. Because many people, what they were doing is they were going to university and they were charging a lot of money. They were borrowing thousands and thousands of dollars, and then after a few years they went bankrupt. So they did not have to pay it. So they've changed the laws on that. So
actually, student loan is different here.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that bankrupt is not applied to the student loan.
Yeah, that's how it is.
It's applied to other types of
loans. Yeah, in the States it's the same way. That's the one loan that you cannot bankrupt is a student loan, and I think it's because it's guaranteed by the government. But you used to back in the 70s and 80s. It was very common for doctors and people who got a lot of education to go bankrupt. So, okay, number 5. Because of the boycott from consumers, the company's sales went down. So what would that be?
It's F, refusing to buy from a company or country as a way of protesting.
Yes, so they're protesting something. And it might just be bad customer service, you know. Okay, number 6. Sometimes big companies bully smaller companies to get what they want because they know smaller companies are weaker. What is that?
Use their strength to influence other people?
Yes, and what was the word I taught you guys just about 10 minutes ago? Anybody remember?
The equal power.
Clout? Yes, clout. Yeah, so that's exactly what clout is. So they had clout over the bigger companies have clout over the smaller companies. Okay, and number 7, big firms usually have plenty of cash reserves, so they usually don't have problems paying bills. Which one is that?
Number C.
C.
A supplier.
Because he just.
It's the last one. Yeah. I was doing a business idioms activity yesterday with somebody, and there were 12 idioms and only 10 examples. So he didn't get that. I was the one that wrote it, so that's why I did that. So, okay, we are going to read an article about how bad debt is affecting small businesses in the UK. And what can be done about the problem? Okay, so we're going to read the first five paragraphs, and then we're going to complete these statements. So something % of small businesses say that late payments are a major issue. Number 2, small businesses were owed in late payments. Something in 5, so that's a number in 5 companies go bust because of bad debt. And also a number in 5 companies have refused to do business with late payers. Okay, so we're going to read the first 5 and then come back to this and answer it. So beating the late payers. New research suggests that many companies are getting tough with late payers. Okay, what I'd like you guys to do is we're going to read the first 5 paragraphs. Have each of you guys, how about we have Ahmed, you do read number 1, and then Alina 2, Ake 3, Ahmed 4, and Alina 5. Okay. And if there's any words you don't know, please ask me. And if I hear any pronunciation issues, I will let you know. Okay?
Okay. Okay. Number 1, how do small and medium-sized enterprise deal with present late payers that damage their cash flow and make it difficult to survive?
Okay, thank you. It's persistent. Can you say that? Persistent.
Persistent.
Yeah, persistently pay. And this is, do you guys know what persistent in this means? This is a late pay, people that pay late all the time.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Postponed, or like postponed, or?
No, they're just often. They're often they pay late all the time. Persistent. It's a persistent. It's an adjective, and you can use the word with problem. So you can say it is a persistent problem. So you have a problem that doesn't seem to go away. Okay.
Yeah, which repeat every time. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not every, but for some regulars. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Alina.
It could be not every time, but it has it's regular.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It might not be every month, but it's every 2 months or every 3-4 months. You know, it just depends. So, but it is a persistent problem, or something like that.
I have a question about cash flow. Cash flow, it's like balance for a company.
Yeah, cash flow is it's basically another way you could say, make it easy. It's called the ins and outs. Yeah, money that comes in and money that goes out. So ins and outs. So for example, I have a small business, and I owe I've got 4 employees right now, and I owe them money, but I don't have any money to pay them until the clients pay me, and they owe me money now. So if they don't pay me, then I can't pay my employees. So, for example, okay. Number 2, Alina, can you read this? Yep.
There is no doubt that late payments continue to be a problem. 85% of small businesses say it has been a major issue over the past 2 years, while nearly half say their most consistently difficult debtors are paying late 3 times a year or more. According to the payments organization, Barclays, small businesses in the UK were owed £33. Yeah, 33 pounds. 36 pounds. And in late payments.
It's actually 36 billion pounds in late payments.
Billion. Okay. Yeah, billion pounds. Yeah.
Yeah, in late payments. Okay. Are there any words in here? And actually, you corrected every single error you made as far as pronunciation. So any words here you guys don't know? Okay, let's go to number 3, Ake.
We know how difficult late payments can be. Data suggests that 1 in 5 small businesses go bust because of bad debt, and business owners that survive often have to use their own funds or borrow against their personal assets while waiting for payment.
And this word is assets, personal assets. So this in the first stresses in the first one, and another one. Yeah, you came late, so you missed this part. But debt is where is it? It's just like receipt. A B or a P before a T is silent.
Mm-hmm.
So it's debt.
Debt.
or debtors. So you never say the B or the P before a T. Okay. Okay, are there any words in here?
Chasing? What does it mean? Chasing? Bad. Chasing. The
Excuse me?
line. Chasing.
Third line.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's okay. At 4. I'm sorry. No, it's okay.
Oh, okay. We haven't got there yet. But to chase bad debts is to go after.
Okay.
It's basically to call people and stuff like that. So number 4, could you read that, Hamid? Could you read that?
Okay. There are some things that business can do to protect themselves, conducting credit checks on customers, chasing bad debt more efficiently, or demanding payments upfront. But the problem still exists and has got steadily worse during this economic downturn.
Okay, so economic downturn. Perfect. So chasing bad debt, that's when, debtors receive phone calls they received phone calls, that's the first thing. Then they send letters. And do you guys, in your countries, are there bill collectors that call and try to collect debts?
Yeah, it's the same way.
Uh-huh.
They call and they send a lot of letters.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And okay. Let's go to
and
number
5. Sometimes they could visit.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the States, I think that's against the law, I think. And I was reading an article that some bill collectors will actually call family and friends and neighbors and stuff like that, but that's actually against the law to do that, but they still do it. So, okay. Let's read number 5.
I would like to ask about upfront.
Okay, upfront. Okay. Demanding payment up front. That means basically for your clients, for example, Alina, before you actually do the project, you ask for the payment up front.
Before, it means before.
Yeah, beforehand. Okay. So like in your situation, you let them pay in payments, and your company's problem is they pay up until the last payment, and then they don't do the last one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so it would be better for those debtors to actually pay up front, and then you guys are guaranteed. But the problem would be is if you guys don't do the quality they want, then they're kind of screwed. They're like, wait a minute. So, okay.
Yeah, I understand. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Number 5, could somebody read that?
Yeah, it should be me.
Okay. Good.
Okay. We may soon see a new stage in the war. However, many companies are now simply refusing to do business with their most persistent late payers. 1 of 5 companies say that over the past year, they have refused to do business with customers who have paid late in the past.
Okay.
Yeah, that's logical.
Yeah, it is. Let's look at this. Number 1, what % of small businesses say that late payments are a major issue?
85?
Yes. Okay, small businesses were owed what in late payments?
Yeah, up what? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it was in the second paragraph.
Second paragraph. Okay.
So it's right here. I wonder if I can copy and paste that. No, I can't.
36 billions.
Yeah, 36 billion pounds.
Okay.
So I don't even know how to do that. £1 billion. I don't have a keyboard that allows me to do the pound. So how many in 5 companies go bust because of bad debt?
I don't believe we should see. Mm.
Oh, it's in... One in 5.
One,
Yeah.
1 in 5, yeah, companies.
So 1 in 5. And then also the same 1 in 5 companies have refused to do business with late payers. They must really be late payers for a company to refuse to do business. So let's go on. Okay, could you read number 6? And okay, I want to say something. It seems like whenever you come to one of my reading classes, you always end up with the paragraph that is on the bottom and the top. Have you noticed?
Bottom, yeah, I noticed. Yeah.
You noticed?
I don't know why, but yeah.
I don't know why that is, but you always end up with this paragraph.
Okay, yeah. Anyway, I can handle this. Okay.
It's funny.
Yeah, this is the extreme option, of course, but in the end, if a customer is prepared to do financial damage of business by repeatedly not paying their bills on time, what other choice do owners have?
It's true, and you did a very good job on making that be a question. What other choice do owners have? So very good at. Are there any words or phrases in that one?
I would like to ask a question about that. Is there exist a credit history, something like that?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
In Russia, we have the term like that. Credit history. Everyone has their own credit history, and if it's bad, it's difficult to earn money from the banks.
Yes, it's difficult to borrow money from the banks.
Yeah, borrow money.
Yeah, and that's the same in the States as well. You could have a good credit, risky credit, or bad credit. Is it the same in Egypt and Japan?
Credit history or something?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, same. I think so. Same.
Maybe it's the same, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So let's go ahead and read number 7. Hamid, can you read number 7?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. If more small businesses take this approach, it is likely to be more effective, especially if they work together. A customer that knows its business want to be accepted anywhere. If it fails to pay on time, is much more likely to be a timely payer. It's a small world out there. In many industries, as small businesses know their competitors and their customers very well. By working with each other, they can produce blacklist of customers who want to settle their bills.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So by working with each other, they can produce a blacklist. Yeah, I don't think people want to get blacklisted. So, any other words? Do you guys, everybody know what blacklist means?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Okay, let's go to number 8. Alina, could you read that?
Okay, I will read, and unfortunately, I should go away.
You have to.
Yeah. This could work with smaller customers. Bigger businesses, however, are less likely to feel threatened by boycott from one sector or area of the country.
Okay, because of their size. And you have a wonderful work day.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you for the lesson. See you next time.
Okay, see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Okay, can you read number 9?
Okay, if the campaign is organized effectively, however, it should be possible to take on even the largest organizations.
And it does happen sometimes. Number 10, Hamid.
Okay, for small businesses, the culture of late payments creates two problems. Firstly, they are more likely to be treated poorly because pulling is the small guy is the easy option.
Okay, so
Secondly,
bullying. It's hard to say.
bullying. Okay. Secondly, they are less likely to have the cash reserves needed to copy with the situation, cope with the situation. And if customers pay your business late, it becomes harder to settle your own bills on time.
Okay, thank you. And do you guys have any questions about any words here?
No, it's okay.
Okay, you guys understand it all? And okay? You're fine? So, okay, can you read the number 11? Are you there? Hello? I'm going to read it. By working together.
Hello, yes.
Oh, you are there. Okay.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, now I can hear you. Sorry.
Oh, good.
Okay, by working together, however, the small business can take much more aggressive action, and they should not hesitate to do that. The late is damaging everybody's business as well as the wider economy.
Okay, great. And keep in mind, this is a common one that actually both of you guys have made as far as pronunciation. When there's an S, like this one, and then you add an E, another S to make it plural, it's actually, it goes businesses. Businesses. So it's businesses. So, and that's very common. Yeah, so small businesses can actually get clout if they work together. Yeah. So that's one thing that would be nice, but with the different associations if they get together. Okay, let's look at phrases from the text. Okay, what can small businesses do to cope with late payments? So read paragraphs 3 to 5 again. We're not going to. We're just going to go back to it. And complete the phrases below with the infinitive form of verbs from the text. So, for example, number 1, conduct credit checks on consumers. Let's find something against personal assets. That's probably in 3. So what is the word? Borrow. So it's to borrow against personal assets. Okay. And something bad that debts more efficiently. It's probably in right here.
Chasing.
Yeah.
Chasing, yeah.
And something payment up front. Can you guys think of what that would be? I think it's asking for. Let's check. Demanding. Okay. Demanding. I was thinking it was asking. So
what is upfront?
Okay, that's actually upfront is beforehand.
Beforehand, okay.
Yeah. So if you think you think somebody's not going to pay, you ask for the money ahead of time. That's what upfront. Right. Something to do business with customers who have paid late in the past. What is the main thing that they suggested in the article that companies do? Starts with an R. R-E. R-E-F.
Defound.
What?
Defound.
No. Okay, R-E-F-U?
F-U. Refuses
like
or...
refuse, yeah. Refuse to do business with consent. Okay, in your opinion, which of these actions do you think are more effective?
I'm sorry, what?
Let's ask this question right here. Which of these actions do you think are more effective for companies? Conduct credit checks, borrow against personal assets, chase bad debts, demand payment up front, or refuse to do business?
Demand pay up front, maybe.
Payment. Yeah. That's what I think too. Or at least demand payment up front or something would make the company realize, oh, gee, I screwed up. So, anyway, all right. Well, thank you very much for your participation in class today. I hope you learned a few more new words and pronunciations, and as you continue to strive to improve your English. So. The next class is we're going to do a reading similar to this, but it will be on personal assistance to the stars. So, okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very
Thanks,
much.
bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.